Well, good morning and rise and shine, and welcome to Live at 6:05. I am Dr. Amy Nussbaum. Welcome to our Thursday edition this week. And I want to ask you a question today. Let me ask you, how many times have you said yes to something, even though deep down you really wanted to say no? Maybe it was extra responsibility at work, maybe it was volunteering for something you didn't really have time for, maybe it was something at your child's school or maybe saying yes to a favor when your plate was already overflowing. One of the things what we are going to focus on today is establishing boundaries and learning to say no. How many of us really need to hear this today? On the surface, it seems small, but over time, always saying yes when we mean to say no takes a toll on our time, on our energy, on our relationships, and even on our peace of mind. Here's the truth. Every yes to something that you say, you every time we say yes to something that we're not called to is really a no to something else, something that is your priority. Maybe thinking about your own health or your own family, your own calling in life. So why do we do it? Oftentimes, it's because we are people pleasing. We want to be liked. We want people to think well of us. We fear disappointing others. We think being available at all times makes us a good friend or a good neighbor or a good family member, a good spouse, a good worker. But without boundaries, you risk living just feeling exhausted all the time. You start to resent other people, and it's the beginning of burnout. So, what happens if we don't address this? We become overwhelmed, and that just becomes your normal. Your normal is this heightened overwhelmed feeling. You wake up already tired and you're already stressed and you haven't even gotten out of bed yet. Resentment begins to build. You start feeling bitter towards everyone in your life, towards the very people that you're trying to help. You start to feel bitterness towards them, and your identity starts to get blurred. You lose touch with your own values, with your own passions, and even your own purpose. It starts to become just kind of a leftover because you're so busy carrying other people's loads, you don't even remember what your passions are, what your purpose is. And ultimately, your relationships will suffer because constant giving without boundaries doesn't build love. It really drains it. It's like a checking account. And without those deposits and you're constantly taking withdrawals, you're going to be in the red before you know it. But here's the thing, you guys, there is good news in this. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. Honestly, it's a gate that protects what matters most. And when you learn to say no with kindness, but with firmness, you are actually saying yes to the right things. Yes to peace, yes to health, and yes to your calling. Scripture reminds us in Matthew 5:37 that let your yes be yes and your no be no. In other words, be clear and honest about what you can and cannot give. That's not selfish. That is stewardship. Stewardship of your time and your energy and your God given purpose. So here's a simple framework that you can start practicing. I encourage you, first of all, to pause before responding. When someone is asking you to do something, you don't have to answer immediately. A simple, let me check my schedule and get back with you. Or let me ask my spouse, even if you really don't need to, but let me ask my spouse and make sure there's nothing going on that I'm not aware of. It just gives you some time and space to think. Check the alignment is number two. Ask, does this align with my values, with my priorities, or with my calling right now? And if it's not, it's a no. And it's an easy, I'm so sorry, it's just not going to work out. Done. We don't say it's not going to work out right now because, oh, maybe it'll work out in the future. No, it's just not going to work out. Practice short, kind refusals. That is that third piece. You don't owe a long explanation. Sometimes it's as simple as, thank you so much for thinking of me, but I can't commit to that right now. Done. You don't have to tell them why. You don't have to, oh, things are crazy right now. And because here's the thing, everybody is crazy right now. So they will probably be like, oh, no, I understand. Things are crazy for me. And they will start to guilt you into wanting to do something. Trust me, I am. This is something that I need to hear myself today. So, friends, saying no may feel uncomfortable at first, but remember, you're not just saying no to others, you're saying yes to peace and to balance and to purpose in your own life. So, here's your call to action. Excuse me. This week, we're getting towards the weekend. I challenge you to pick one area in your life that you've been overcommitted and identify one yes that you can turn into a no and replace it with something that restores energy and joy in your life. Maybe getting out in that time and going for a walk or reading a book, maybe taking a nap. Whatever it is that you need, what your body needs, what your mind needs. And if you need support learning how to break free from these people pleasing behaviors and start living with healthy boundaries, that's exactly what I do when I am coaching with one on one clients. Reach out. I would love to walk alongside of you and reclaim your time, your energy, and that peace. So, if this has been helpful, I encourage you to share it with someone else because I'm sure they would love to hear this message as well, and help them find their peace. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on Friday. But until then, remember, you are made for more. So go light up this world with your purpose.